Welcome back in. It is the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour presented by Firehouse Subs. Tyler Head, Wes Mitchell, Chris Clark along with you here on this Thursday. As I mentioned a moment ago, we are so excited now to be joined by former South Carolina assistant coach, now head coach at Murray State, Jody Wright. Jody, first of all, appreciate your patience waiting on us through the break there. Thanks for hanging out with us for a few minutes, and congratulations on getting your first career win as a head coach this past weekend against Mississippi Valley State. I know that had to have felt pretty good for you.
Oh, appreciate it, guys. Thank y'all for having me on today. So it's an honor, and yes, we were very excited. Staff did a great job. I was proud to get the win. Glad they didn't run Jerry Rice out there. I was missing for the game. I was like, I hope there's no kids running out of Mississippi Valley's locker room last name Rice. We better double cover them. But I was glad to get our first win, and we got a big one this week versus North Dakota. So we got to go up there, but we're excited for the challenge.
Jody, it's Wes. Great to hear from you, man. We really miss you here in Columbia. Hopefully you miss us as much as we miss you, man. But I know you got your own thing going on there and running your own program. Open-ended question, but what has maybe been the biggest adjustment for you just going from sitting in the assistant role to running every single aspect of a college football program?
Yeah, it's been some challenges, but it's been fun. I guess the biggest difference is not, out there every day trying to, I try to go around to each position rooms. I thought that was one thing Coach Beamer did a great job of, sitting in special teams meetings and going around trying to help each position room or get in the way mostly probably. But that's been fun. And, it's the weird part's probably doing the schedule and saying, hey, man, God, it'd be nice to have practice cut a little short things. So, man, I get to decide that. So that's been neat, but it's probably, not that big of an adjustment as I thought it was going to be. I tried to take something from every head coach I'd worked for and learned and apply it. So it's been pretty smooth for the most part.
Jody, Chris Clark here. Thanks for taking time.
Chris, how you doing, man?
Doing well. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you. So you have, aside from yourself, you have some other Gamecock ties on your staff there that you took with you over to Murray, and wanted to give you a chance to just give us some thoughts on some of your young coaches that you've hired on there, how they're doing. You just shouted them out for their work in one of the games recently.
Yeah, it's been great. I wish we could have had a live feed. We were watching the Kentucky game before. It's probably why we didn't play too good against Butler. We were jumping up and down. We got Zeb Nolan, former quarterback, and Jalen Dickerson, a former DB, and Tyler Zielinski, of course, was Coach Limbo's assistant. And then we also have Eli Johnson, who is Ellis Johnson's son, as our offensive graduate assistant. So I know I got a Gamecock helmet in my office. I think there's about 4 or 5 Gamecock helmets running around the Murray State football facility. So we got Gamecock helmets and Gamecock stuff everywhere here. So we're kind of like the South Carolina of the West, I guess you could say.
Again, talking to former South Carolina assistant, now head coach of Murray State, Jody Wright. And, speaking of keeping your eyes on what Carolina's been doing this year, we've all been very pleased with what Michael Smith has done so far. And I'm sure you've kept a really close eye on those tight ends and were involved in his recruiting process. Or is there any surprise to you that he's come in and made such a big impact right away for this team?
I knew he would. He's a very talented player and, great family. And so excited that he was able to get there as a freshman. After I took this job, I'd try to call in and check on him every week, making sure he was staying on top of his grades to get eligible and everything. But he's so excited that, he's loving it. His mama, she called me, I think the day he was moving in. She's like, we're finally here, but it's been great. I've been able to stay with Shane, and I know he's busy, but he took time to text me after our win. And I was so heartbroken after the LSU game, but I just told him, the guys played their hearts out, and the atmosphere there, I think, showed the whole nation how special a place South Carolina is. And credit to Coach Beamer and players, staff, fans. I think game day was probably saying, man, this was probably the best atmosphere they've been in a long time or ever, in my opinion. So,
Jody, lots of Gamecock fans. We actually had Pete Limbo on yesterday, so we were talking about how lots of Gamecock fans have been paying attention to what he's doing at Buffalo, watching you at Murray, and just pulling for you guys here, man. So what can you tell us? I'm looking now. We got North Dakota this week, 1 o'clock. ESPN Plus, if you're listening out there and you want to watch early in the day. What can you tell us just in terms of like previewing this matchup for Saturday?
Yeah, they're about like all the Dakota teams. They're big. They are well coached. They're going to beat you playing their game, which is line up, pound it on you, and they do a lot of different stuff on defense. And of course, I was messing with my grandma and some friends. I was down in Tuscaloosa. I said, we're on ESPN Ocho, whatever it is, on ESPN Plus, the 8 or 9 or one of those. But you can watch it if you've got Hulu. But no, they're all the Dakota schools. North Dakota State Bison we've got coming down the road as well, and South Dakota State. So but it's a challenge. That's what I was telling our team. I said, the number 9 team in the country, and it's a great opportunity. Unfortunately, Murray State has not won a road football game since 2021. So I told our team it's been over 1,000 days since Murray State's won a road football game. So, hopefully we're going to change that this weekend. But it's been great. I can't say enough about our team fighting, and so hopefully we're going to have a lot of positive results for the season to go with.
Jody, got a recruiting question for you. That's something, you've helped Nick Saban run recruiting. You recruited some really good players like Mike Smith here to South Carolina. That's something that I know you're really big on, and something you're going to have to do at Murray as well. Going down to that level, it seems like a lot of coaches have talked about, hey, it's harder nowadays even to build a roster because if you land some good players, they might go into, Alabama, Tennessee, South Carolina might decide they want that player, and that player's in the transfer portal. So what's your approach to roster building there in 2024?
Yeah, I told our coaches, we've got players on our team right now from Russia, from Australia, we've got one from England. We've got them from everywhere. We even got a Japanese manager, so we've got everybody. But I taught our players, our coaches, it doesn't matter where they come from, JUCO, high school. We're just trying to build the best roster we can for this season. And we brought in 65 new players after spring training, which has got to be a record. But trying to get all of them, which they've been great. But I think we tell our players and upfront and honest with them, we hope you're playing so good that you're an All-American and you got people saying, hey, you need to go in the portal and the SEC school won't you? I hope I have one that's such a good All-American and he goes in the portal and me and Shane's talk about him. I talk about him, man, he'd be a great fit in South Carolina. And hopefully, I tell him all the time, I was like, hey, that means you played really, really good. And that means you're probably going to have somebody trying to pay you some money to go play somewhere. It probably means I got a raise, too, as a coach, so we'll both probably be happy. So, it's funny to joke about it, but it's almost like a guy that you get a really good player, no different than SEC. I think if you're recruiting guys that you say there's no way this guy's only going to be a 3-year guy. So in 3 years, he's going to be a draft pick. I think that's probably your goal, or at least have a hard decision that says, hey, I've got an opportunity to be a high draft pick or an opportunity to come back and be a for sure first rounder. So, I think you've got to embrace this, what we're living in now. I do hope there's some type of, transparency where the NFL at least has a salary cap and everybody's kind of playing from a level field and saying, hey, this is what everybody gets. Because I think what they're doing right now, what's happened like at UNLV, the last day or so, I think, it's hard, and I don't think that's good for the game overall, but you've got to embrace it a little bit because it's the climate we're living in.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you taking a little bit of your time for us this morning. Know you're a busy guy, and like I said, we're going to keep an eye on what you're doing out there. Certainly wish you guys the best of luck this weekend and rest of the season going forward.
I appreciate y'all guys. I always say all the time, South Carolina fans are lucky because y'all are first class in every way and mean so much to that program. And thank y'all for everything y'all do. And we're definitely going to be, if you guys are listening, we definitely need some South Carolina players. I know we've offered a lot of high school guys from there, but we'd love to get some down here at Murray. So, but appreciate y'all and go Racers and go Gamecocks.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, Coach. We'll continue
Thank you,
on
Jody.
The Gamecock Central Takeover Hour presented by Firehouse Subs on your Thursday here on the game.